Listen, I do not see a victim, I see a maker. You create your own fate, breath by breath. Karma means action. Action means power. I will show you how to aim that power today. No big words, no tricks, just clear practice you can use before this day ends. You will learn what karma really is. Not luck, but action with intent. You will get a simple daily method. One idea, one act, one review. I know the line you hear. It's karma. It sounds like blame or doom. It makes you wait, and waiting makes you weak. I will not let you stay weak. I teach you to stand up now. I will show you how action cleans the mind, how duty done in the right spirit frees the heart, and how steady practice turns storms into strength. Stay with me. You will feel the change before this talk ends. Here is how we move. First, I clear the fog, what karma is and what it is not. Then I show you how you create your fate with the work in front of you. Next, I give you 4 clean tools for the mind and heart. After that, we build a daily plan you can keep. Last, we break fear of the past and make a vow. I will share one strange idea near the end that flips how you see success and failure. Do not miss that. Let us begin. Listen, you heard me in the opening. Karma is not chains, it's your hands on the wheel. And if your hands are shaking, it's only because no one taught you how to hold it steady. So let me do that now. Here's something most people completely miss. Karma isn't later, it's now. Not a bill that comes in the mail, but the choice you make in this breath. Picture 2 people standing at the same crossroad. One waits for luck, the other moves with purpose. One whispers it's fate, the other asks, what can I do right now? And the difference is simple and huge. The second one understands that karma means action with intent. I'm going to show you how that one idea clears the fog, puts power back in your hands, and turns a heavy word into a working tool you can use today. Why does this matter so much? Because if you get this wrong, you'll hand your day to moods, you'll repeat old loops, and you'll call it destiny, while your best years walk past you in silence. Get it right, and you'll feel a clean line run through your life. Thought becomes word, word becomes deed, deed becomes habit, habit becomes character, and character becomes what people like to call fate. That chain is always running, whether you watch it or not. So what's the move? I keep it very plain. I watch the first link, my thought, and the next link, my word, and I set them in the direction I want to live. How do I do that in real life? Try this tiny test today, 3 times. When a rough thought rises, don't feed it. Swap one harsh word for a steady one. Do one small deed a little better than you plan. That's it. You just laid 3 seeds. Seeds grow. Mango seed, mango fruit, thorn seed, thorn fruit. No mystery there, just the law you can trust. Now, here's the part that feels counterintuitive at first. Freedom isn't in your results, it's in how you act now. If you tie your peace to outcomes, you'll shake all day. If you tie your peace to right action, you'll stand even when the wind rises. Why does that matter? Because fear lives in the future and regret lives in the past, and both steal the energy you need in the present. What's the simple rule? I work well and I let go. I pour my best into the cause, the part that's mine, and I release the fruit, the part that never was. How does that look? You write the script with care, you record with full attention, you publish without begging the numbers to love you, and you return to your work tomorrow stronger than today. You'll feel a quiet power when you do this, and here's the proof you can check tonight. Less anxiety, more focus, cleaner sleep. The algorithm may sway, but your mind won't. Let me put a picture in your hand so you can feel it. Think of the mind as a charioteer holding the reins. If the reins are slack, the horses drag you through dust. If the reins are firm, the path is the same, but the ride is different. Why is that image useful? Because it shows you exactly where choice lives. Not in the road, but in the hold. What's the move? Tighten the hold at the start of the day. One clear idea, one clean line you won't cross, one duty you will not dodge. How? Speak it out loud before you begin. Today I will do the work nearest to me with my whole heart, and I will not cling to the result. Then do it once in the morning when you're fresh, once at noon when you're tired, and once in the evening when you want to quit. 3 pulls on the reins. By night, you'll feel the horses obey. Now let's talk about the habit that steals more power than any bad luck ever could. Blame. If you lean on blame, you give away the very thing you need to rise. If you take responsibility, even for small things, power runs back to you like water to a low place. Why does this matter? Because blame stops action. Responsibility starts it. What's the rule? I own my choices, past and present, and I choose again right now. How do you practice that without crushing yourself? With a soft but strict review at day's end. One win I'll keep, one fix I'll make, one thing I release. No drama, no self-insult. A simple count. Here's a quick example you can copy. Win. I kept my word on the morning work. Fix. Too much scrolling after lunch. Tomorrow the phone stays in another room. Release. I let go of the number on today's post. 30 seconds. Power returns. Sleep comes easier. You wake cleaner. You might be thinking, isn't this too simple for the mess I'm in? No. The mess came by many small steps. You walk out by many small steps, and that should make you glad because you can take a step today. Remember the seed and the fruit. Remember the reins and the charioteer. Remember that your peace is tied to your action, not to the applause that may or may not follow. And here's a small surprise to keep you leaning forward. If you practice this for 7 days, just the 3 swaps, the 1 vow, the evening review, you'll notice something strange in week 2. Work feels lighter, yet the quality rises. That's the hint that the chain is turning in your favor. So the fog is cleared and the wheel is in your hands. You know what karma is, action with intent, and you know where your freedom lives, in the way you act now. In a moment, I'm going to show you how to build on this and shape your path with force and grace, not by waiting for life to be kind, but by training yourself to choose like a maker. That's powerful on its own, but combine it with what's coming next. The simple way to build strength into every choice, and you'll understand why some people seem to bend fate while others only talk about it. You are the maker. Take the right tools. You already feel your hands on the wheel, so let's roll forward while the road is clear and the mind is awake. Because here's the truth, most people dodge when the day gets loud and the old habits start calling your name. You're not waiting for fate to pick you. You're training yourself to choose, and that training happens in small moments that look boring from the outside but decide everything on the inside. So picture this with me right now. 2 people with the same alarm at the same hour in the same city. One taps the screen 3 times and sinks back into the pillow with a sigh that says, "Not today." The other sits up, plants both feet on the floor, breathes once like they mean it, and says out loud, "I'm up." And the difference between them is not talent or luck or some hidden deal with life. The difference is choice trained into muscle. And that's what I want for you, because when you train choice, you stop leaking power into excuses. You stop telling stories about why you can't and start telling the truth about what you will do now. And yes, the stakes are high, because if you miss this, you'll drift toward the easiest habit. You'll call the drift destiny, and you'll watch strong years slide by while you keep promising yourself you'll begin when things settle. But they won't settle until you do. Well, if you nail this one idea, I become what I train myself to choose, you'll feel a line of strength run through your day like steel through concrete, steady and quiet and hard to break, and results will start to gather around you the way iron filings run to a magnet, not because you begged for them, but because you became the person who acts like results are a byproduct, not a leash. So let me say it plain, because plain is power. No excuses, full charge of thought indeed, which doesn't mean I beat myself up when I fall. It means I own the fall and stand faster the next time. It means I don't hand the mic to moods. It means I ask one question every hour. Does this make me strong? And if the answer is no, I change the move, because strength is life, weakness is death, and every act feeds one or the other. And you can feel that in your body right now, the way a straight spine changes the voice, the way a clear breath slows the storm, the way a firm decision turns a long day into a clean path. And if you think this is just talk, then test it the next time you're tempted to scroll into a fog. Stop at the edge, stand up, take 10 slow steps, drink water, return to the work nearest you, and watch how your mind obeys the person who acts, not the person who argues, because action trains respect, and respect from your own mind is worth more than any praise you could buy. Now, you might say, but I've tried before, and I break the promise. And I hear you, which is why we don't make 10 promises. We make one. We pick one idea and live on it until it lives in us. And this is where most people make it too grand and too vague and too heavy to carry. So keep it small and sharp, something you can't wiggle out of, something that builds the floor under your day, like write for 15 minutes before I check anything, or walk outside for 5 minutes after lunch, or speak the hard truth once today without dressing it up. Because one idea done daily becomes a beam, and beams hold weight. And when life gets loud, you want beams, not balloons. And here's the quiet miracle you'll notice when you stick to one idea long enough to feel it click. You stop asking for permission. You stop bargaining with yourself. You start moving like a person who knows where the door is and isn't afraid to turn the handle. Let me hand you 2 pictures to carry so this sinks past the surface and settles where your choices are made. The first is the gym of life, where the weights are your problems and every rep is a decision. And if you skip the rep, the weight doesn't get lighter. It waits and it gathers dust, and the dust turns to rust. And now the bar is rough in your hands and it hurts just to hold it. But if you step under the bar every day, Even for a little while, even with a smaller load, your back straightens, your grip hardens, your breath finds a rhythm, and what used to scare you turns into training. The second is the oak in the storm. The storm comes when it wants and roars like it owns the sky. The oak does not argue, it sets its roots. It doesn't pretend the wind is soft. It doesn't pretend the rain is kind. It simply refuses to bow past the point of breaking. And when the clouds run out of voice, the oak is still there, stronger for the fight. And I want you to be that oak with a worker's heart and a maker's hands, steady when the numbers dip, steady when the voices doubt, steady when the past rattles its chains, because steadiness is a choice you make again and again until it becomes who you are. If you're asking for proof, take this field test for the next 72 hours and keep it simple so you'll do it. Choose one idea and one act that serves it. Mark 3 daily checkpoints: morning, midday, evening. Speak your idea out loud at each checkpoint. Do the act even when you don't want to, and track it with a single mark on paper. Nothing fancy, just 3 marks a day, and watch what happens to your sense of control by the third night. Because control isn't a mood, it's an echo that comes back when you keep your word. And once that echo is loud enough, you won't need to force yourself so hard. The mind will move with you because you've taught it who's driving. And that's the whole game. Action trains identity. Identity directs action round and round in a stronger circle until people start saying you're lucky when in truth you're trained. And when your energy dips, and it will, don't take it as a sign that you're failing. Take it as a sign that you're growing new roots, because every upgrade asks for fuel, and new strength is hungry at first. So treat the dip like weather, not like judgment. Lower the weight, slow the pace, keep the promise, and end the day with a clean review that takes 60 seconds and gives you back your power. One win I keep, one fix I make, one thing I let go, then lights out, because tomorrow we build again, stone by stone, and that's how character rises. Not in a burst of fireworks, but in the quiet stacking of good bricks laid true. And if you've ever watched a wall go up, you know the moment arrives when it suddenly looks like a house, and that moment comes faster than you think when the hands don't stop. Hold this line as we turn the page. You are not waiting for a break. You are becoming the person who doesn't need one, and the way you become that person is by choosing like a maker again and again until choice feels like home. So remember the gym, remember the oak, remember the 3 checkpoints, and keep your vows small and sharp, because we're about to add tools that make this even easier to live. Tools that let you serve without clinging. Think with a clear edge, love without bargaining, and train the mind to sit when you say sit. And when those tools are in your hands, the wheel won't shake anymore. It will turn the way you turn it, which is why the next step matters so much. Take a breath with me, set your feet, and come with me into the work and the wisdom that steady the hand and clear the sight, because you are the maker, and now it's time to pick up the right tools. You're ready for tools, so I place the first 2 in your hands: work and wisdom, the strong twins that pull the chariot together, because if you try to move with only one, you limp, and if you train both, you fly. Here's something most people completely miss when they talk about karma and think it means scorekeeping or payback or some ledger in the sky. Karma for me is simple: living action done now with a clean heart and a steady hand. And Janana, the wisdom I trust, is the sharp light that shows me what to keep and what to throw away. So before I swing a single blow, I ask a quiet question that saves me hours of noise. Does this act make me strong and pure? And if the answer is yes, I give it my whole life for the next few minutes. If the answer is no, I drop it without sorrow, because sorrow over a dropped chain is only another chain, and I won't wear it. Why does this matter? Because when you misread work, you become a beggar for results, and you shake like a leaf every time a number moves. And when you misread wisdom, you drown in thoughts that never touch the ground. But get this right, and you will feel like gold in a clean flame. Hot, bright, tested, not burned. So I start with work, the kind that builds a soul instead of just a schedule. And I give you a line to carry all day. Do the duty nearest to you and do it as worship, which means you don't wait for a special stage or a big break or a soft day. You pick up the task right in front of you and you meet it like a guest from the highest. And if that sounds grand, good, but live it small, because small is where you can't hide. Wash the cup and wash it well. Answer the message and answer it true. Write the page and write it clean. I serve the living God in all, which means the person in front of me is not a tool for my plans, but a shrine I respect. And when I hold people like that, the work tastes different, lighter, stronger, almost sweet. What if the mind starts to beg for praise, or fear starts to bite at the heel and whisper that I'm not enough? I offer the fruit, I keep the excellence, I drop the anxiety, I say it out loud, I work well and I let go. And I mean it, because if I cling to results, I lose my grip on the tools. But if I hold the tools, the results come when they will, and often they come faster when I stop chasing them. Here's a tiny proof you can try by noon today. Choose one task that usually makes you rush, slow it by 10%, breathe 3 times before you start, do it with full care, then release it without checking for applause for 30 minutes. Watch how much cleaner your head feels and how much kinder your next task becomes, because calm work trains calm work, and that's a chain you want. Now I bring in wisdom, sharp and kind and simple, not a pile of words but a sword that cuts the ropes, because here's where most people drift. They fill the mind with noise and then try to think their way out of the storm they made. I don't do that. I make one clean cut. I keep what makes me strong. I drop what makes me weak. And I test every thought with that rule. And if you think that's too plain for the knotted things you carry, watch how plain saves you. Take the next doubtful thought that floats up. I can't keep this promise. I need a better mood. I must see a sign. Hold it to the rule. See how it softens your spine. Feel how it dims your will, then let it go like smoke from an open hand and pick up its opposite. I can keep a small promise. I will act before the mood. I will be the sign. Feel the heat return to your chest. Hear the voice in you grow firm and act at once, so the thought is sealed by a deed, because a deed is wisdom's anchor. Some of you want a longer method, so take this short path I use when I must clear space fast. Study, reflect, practice. 3 steps, 1 circle. Read 1 line of high truth in the morning. Turn it over once like a small stone in the hand at midday. Then practice 1 act that fits that truth before the sun sets. Do this for 7 days and tell me if your mind doesn't begin to obey like a horse that finally trusts the rider. I'll give you pictures so the ideas don't slip away when the day gets loud. Think of 4 strings on 1 lute, and today we tune 2. The string of work and the string of wisdom, and you can hear it when they tighten right. The tone goes clear. The room seems larger. Your breath finds a rhythm, and the melody you thought you couldn't play shows up under your fingers. Think of gold and fire, crude and dark at first, then bright as the dross lifts and runs. And if you worry that the fire will kill you, remember that fear speaks for the dross, not for the gold. And your task is to stand steady till what cannot last lets go, which it will do in its own time if you keep the heat clean and the air moving, and clean heat is just honest work without clinging. Moving air is just bright thought without lies. You might say, but I have duties I don't love. And I say, good. Then you have a gem right in your house. Lift them with attention, not anger. Lift them with care, not hurry. And when you set them down, don't hate the bar. Thank it for making you stronger, because it did. You might say, I don't know what to cut. And I say, test it with the body. Does this choice straighten my spine or bend it? Does this word open my chest or close it? Does this habit make me shine after or make me hide? Your body tells the truth faster than your excuses do. Keep what strengthens, drop what weakens, and let the cut be clean. Now I fold work and wisdom into 1 daily drill so you can feel how they fit and feed each other. In the morning, I name 1 duty nearest to me, and I set the quality bar with a single line. I will do this like worship. Then I choose 1 weak thing I will not feed today, and 1 strong thing I will feed. I don't choose 10, I choose 1 of each, because 1 done well becomes the seed for many. Midday, I stop for 1 minute before the second half begins. I ask, what's the next right cause? Not the next loud call. I pick it. I move. Evening, I sit for 60 seconds, and I return to the same questions. 1 win I keep to build pride without vanity. 1 fix I make so tomorrow is cleaner. 1 fruit I release so sleep can hold me. That study, reflect, practice in motion, and after a week, you will notice your hand is steadier on the wheel and your sight is clearer on the road. And when failure comes, and it will, because life trains you with real weight, don't make a shrine to it. Learn and move. Ask 1 wise question. Where did I cling, or where did I drift? If you clung, loosen. If you drifted, grip. That's jnana touching karma. That's wisdom correcting work. And that's how you grow without tearing yourself down. Hold this as you breathe with me once more. I am not here to decorate weakness. I am here to make you strong. And strength grows where work is clean and wisdom is sharp. So serve without clinging, cut without cruelty, keep what lifts you, drop what drags you, and do it today while the iron is hot and the will is awake. Because what I've given you is already enough to change the feel of your next hour, and yet it gets better, because hands alone can build a house, but a warm heart makes it a home, and a restless mind can still spoil a fine plan. So in the next step, I light the heart and still the mind, and when love melts the little I, and the mind learns to sit when you say sit, you'll see why some people move through storms as if walking in clear weather. Take a sip of water, Roll your shoulders back and come with me now, because service and clarity have steadied your hand. Now we light the heart and still the mind. You've steadied your hand with service and you've sharpened your sight with clear thought. So now we light the heart and we teach the mind to sit. Because without a warm heart, the work turns dry. And without a trained mind, the best plan breaks in your hands. And here's something most people completely miss when they talk about love and practice as if they were soft things for soft days. Devotion, as I live it, is not a mood. It is fire that melts the little I, so the big life can flow. And mind training is not escape. It is the royal road where the will learns to obey. Let me set a scene, you know. Two people face the same long day. One drags a cart of worries and calls that cart me. The other walks light and calls every face thou. One tightens at every small slight and burns energy on small wars. The other bows once inside and moves on with clean eyes. And what's the difference, really? The second one chose an ideal higher than moods and gave their heart to it. And they learned to bring the mind back again and again, like a good shepherd calling the flock at dusk, simple and firm and kind. Why does this matter so much? Because if you miss this, you fight yourself all day long. You spend your best hours putting out fires you lit with your own restless hands. But if you get it right, you'll feel your power grow quiet and deep. Action becomes simple, and even hard tasks taste sweet, like cool water after heat. Here's what I do in plain words you can carry. I choose an ideal of the highest, form or formless, name or stillness, and I love with all my might. I don't argue about the shape of the lamp. I care about the light, and the light is the same. So pick one name that lifts your chest when you speak it, or one line that rinses your mind when you repeat it, and let it be your rope in bad weather. Maybe it is peace. Maybe it is truth. Maybe it is a holy name you learned as a child. Maybe it is simply I am, spoken low and steady, and whenever the heart begins to harden, I warm it with that name. I pour the little I into it, the way ice slides into the sea and becomes sea. And if you ask, isn't that running away? I say no, it is running toward your center, because the small self that quarrels all day is the one that keeps you weak, while love makes you wide and brave and clean. What's the proof? Try this for one short hour when the day is rough. Hold your chosen name lightly at the edge of your breath as you walk, as you wait, as you work. Don't force it. Just let it ride with the air, and watch how you speak softer to others, how your shoulders drop, how your choices get kinder without getting weak, because love isn't a chain. It's a strength that includes others without losing yourself. Now for the mind, the royal road that looks simple and therefore gets skipped. But I won't let you skip it because this is the hinge on which the door swings. Seat steady, breath even, attention one-pointed. And when it wanders, bring it back. And when it wanders again, bring it back again. Not with anger, not with despair, but the way you guide a child's hand to learn a letter, patient and sure. Why do we do it this way? Because a mind that jumps at every sound can't carry power, while a mind that can stand still for a minute can carry a life. Here's the exact how, so you can't say you don't know. Find a quiet corner if you can. Sit with your spine tall but not stiff. Place both feet steady or fold them easy. Rest your hands where they don't pull. Close your eyes as if you were smiling to yourself. And count 4 slow breaths in and 4 slow breaths out just to settle the dust. Then choose your point, your chosen name, or the feel of the breath at the nose, or a soft light in the heart, and stay with it. Thoughts will come, let them pass like birds over a field. You don't chase, you don't clap, you don't curse. You keep the lamp from the wind and let the flame do its work, because the mind is a river and you are the one on the bank watching the water go by. And the river does not mind being watched, it simply runs until it clears. If you need a very short drill to prove this to yourself today, take 5 minutes before your next big task and do the lamp practice. 1 minute to sit steady, 1 minute to smooth the breath, 3 minutes to hold your point. That's it. Then rise without drama and begin your work at once, and you'll notice how the first 10 minutes feel different, more like you're placing stones than chasing them. If you want numbers, here are the only ones I care about. 1 steady seat, 5 quiet minutes, 3 clear returns when the mind wanders. And if you can't find 5 minutes, take 2. The rule is not time, the rule is honesty. And if the objection rises, I tried and my mind was too noisy. Good. Then you saw what you're dealing with. And seeing the storm is step 1 in learning when to set sail and when to wait in harbor. Don't judge the session by how it felt. Judge it by the fact that you showed up and you returned, because every return is a link of strength, and chains of strength don't rust when you use them. Let me weave devotion and practice so you feel how they feed each other. Begin your seat with the name you love. Let it soften the chest. Then rest your attention on the breath. And when the mind drifts to a worry or a memory or a list, touch the name once in your heart the way you touch a friend's shoulder and guide your focus home. That single touch dissolves the little I that wants to argue and gives the big I room to breathe. And in that space, good choices get simple. Carry the same name into the day, silent and modest, not as a show, but as a thread that keeps you from getting lost in the crowd, and pair it with a quiet rule. I will see the same self in all, which means no one is trash, no task is beneath me, no victory makes me forget kindness. And when anger comes, I hold it by the tail and ask, does this make me strong? And if the answer is no, I drop it like a hot coal and I refuse to burn my own hand. Do you see the shape now? Love melts the little I. Practice trains the mind to obey. And together they make your work sweet and your wisdom bright. So even when the weather breaks rough, you move like a person who knows the way home. Keep this image as we close the circle on this part. A lamp in a windless place. Steady flame, clear light, warm reach. And you are that lamp when you love higher than moods and sit longer than restlessness. The room around you may still have noise, but the light is yours, and the flame is yours, and the reach is yours, and people will feel it without you saying a word, because calm has a sound, and it teaches without a lecture. Now breathe once with me. Feel the chest open, feel the face soften, and get ready to bring all of this into the shape of your day, because tools are only tools until you build with them, and we will build with them next. We'll turn devotion and mind mastery into a simple plan you can keep when life gets busy. Morning and day and evening and week. And when you live that plan, your fate will bend without a shout. The plan is set in my hands. I'm about to place it in yours. I told you I would place the plan in your hands, so here it is. Simple and strong and light enough to carry when the day gets heavy, because tools matter only when you use them, and a plan matters only when it fits in your life. We take what you've already felt. Clean work, clear thought, warm heart, steady mind. And we shape it into a rhythm you can keep even on a bad day, especially on a bad day. So listen close and picture yourself moving through it from morning to night without hurry, without noise, with a quiet force that grows each time you keep your word. Morning first, because morning sets the tone. I begin before the world asks for me, and I do 3 small things that look humble but turn the whole wheel. 1 page of high truth, 5 minutes of quiet, 1 vow spoken out loud. The page is not for show, it is fuel. I read it slowly, like a person drinking water after a long walk, and I let 1 line stick, not 10, just 1, something I can hold when the wind rises. Then I sit as I taught you, seat steady, breath even, attention on the name or on the breath, and I let the lamp burn without the wind, not to escape the day, but to meet it with a straight spine. Then the vow, small and sharp, said in my own voice so my mind knows I mean it. Today I will do the work nearest to me with my whole heart, and I will not cling to the result. Or today I will keep my word in 1 hard thing. Or today I will speak 1 clean truth without anger. 3 moves, 10 minutes. The house wakes, the street wakes, the world wakes, but I am already awake. And the first stone of the day is set true. Now we step into the day itself, where most people lose the thread, and we keep it by refusing to make it complicated. I carry 2 lines like tools on my belt, do the duty nearest as worship, and I work well and I let go. And I test every hour with a simple question. What's the next right cause, not the next loud call? Because the loud call is rarely the right cause, and the right cause, once chosen, quiets the loud call by the way I meet it. I touch my chosen name lightly at the edge of my breath while I move, nothing showy, just a thread I hold so I don't get lost in the crowd. And when the mind tries to run for comfort, I pause, breathe 3 times, and return to the task already in my hands, because returning is the decision, and decisions train the mind to obey. I put a guard on 2 big leaks, gossip and blame, because both spill power fast. If a talk turns to gossip, I step out or turn it clean. If my tongue reaches for blame, I stop it mid-air and replace it with responsibility, even a small one. Here is what I will do now. And power runs back like a water finding home. When the urge to check numbers tries to pull me by the sleeve, I smile at it like a child who wants sweets before dinner. Now I finish the bite I'm chewing, then the plate, and then I decide if a check is needed. Excellence first, result later, always in that order. I keep a tiny drill for tired hours. Stand, drink water, touch the name once, take 10 slow steps, sit and begin the next small piece. And I don't argue with myself while I do it, because action carries the mind the way a river carries a leaf. And when kindness is called for, I give it. Not because I'm trying to look good, but because I see the same self in every set of eyes, and that sight makes rudeness feel like striking my own hand. Devotion softens the heart. Work keeps it honest. Wisdom keeps it sharp. Evening is where I close the circle without drama, because drama wakes the mind and I want sleep to hold me like a friend. I sit for 1 minute and I do the clean review I promised you. One win I keep, one fix I make, one fruit I release. And I speak it low so my nervous system hears the tone of a leader, not a judge. The win might be simple. I kept my word on the morning vow. The fix might be small. Tomorrow the phone stays in another room after lunch. The release is always the same spirit. I let go of today's numbers, and the letting go is real because I say it and I mean it, and I will not pick it up again before sleep. If a rough moment bites at the heels I lie down, I bring my chosen name to the breath and count 4 slow inhales and 4 slow exhales. And when the count dissolves, I let it, like salt in warm water. And I sleep not because I earned rest like a wage, but because rest is part of right work. The trained horse needs the stable. The wild horse needs the field. I am training for freedom, so I give my animal the care that makes it fly tomorrow. Once a week, I go one step further to clean the heart and steady the hand. I choose an act of service and I treat it as worship. I feed or teach or help, and I do it without a camera in my head, no applause, no story, just the act. And I keep my eyes open for the living God in front of me. And if you think that's too grand a word, use dignity. The meaning is the same, because when you meet a person with full dignity, the room changes and your own heart grows quiet and brave. That weekly act keeps the ego from swelling, keeps love from cooling, keeps the work sweet when the road is long. This is the plan, not a prison, a rhythm you can live on your worst week. And if you miss a beat, you don't curse the song, you rejoin the music on the very next note. Morning page, 5-minute lamp, one vow said out loud. Day of nearest duty, thread of the name, no gossip, no blame. Excellence first, then release. Evening review, keep, fix, let go. Weekly worship in action. Brick by brick, the temple rises. And one morning you look up and see a wall where there was only a plan. And you feel a roof where there was only weather. And you understand why I told you not to wait for fate to pick you. Because by now you can feel it. You are choosing, and your choices are shaping the riverbed. Hold this rhythm in your chest as we turn to the last climb. Because there's one more knot to loosen before you can run light. And it's the knot that ties you to old grooves and old ghosts. Plan is set. The day is clean. The heart is warm. The mind is steady. Now we end the fear of the past and burn the old patterns in a clear flame. And when you see how simple that is, you'll sleep like a child and wake like a maker. You've got the rhythm in your hands now, so let's cut the last knot. The fear of the past. Because here's what most people miss when they speak of karma, like a shadow that follows them forever. Past actions may bring results, yes, but they do not own you. They do not drive your chariot unless you hand them the reins. And I will not let you do that anymore. Picture 2 travelers on the same road, both with dust on their shoes, both with mistakes behind them. One keeps turning around to stare at old footprints and stumbles over the stone right in front. The other keeps the eyes on the path and uses the same stone to step higher. And the difference is simple in everything. The second one understands that the present act, done nobly and done now, burns old grooves like a steady flame cleans a sooty pot, slowly, surely, without drama. So listen close. Drop guilt, not because you don't care, but because you do. Guilt that freezes your hands is just pride wearing a sad mask, while honest remorse stands up, acts, and moves. And that's what I want for you. Stand, act, move. Why does this matter so much? Because if you get it wrong, you spend your best hours in a court where you are the judge, the jury, and the accused, and no one ever leaves that court free. You punish yourself with the past and call it virtue while your present power drains away. Get it right and something beautiful happens. You take responsibility without self-hate. You act without the chain on your ankle. You sleep without the old voices shouting in your head, and you wake ready to build. The why is simple. The only place you meet life is here, this breath, this step, this choice. And when you give full weight to the present act, you are stronger than any memory. What then is the path? I make it plain. Keep holy company or be alone. Guard your inputs the way a farmer guards a young field. Replace one bad habit with one strong habit and repeat until the new groove holds. And when fear shows its face, do not ask for its name. Walk forward while it talks, because fear is a loud guide with poor directions, and it fades when you keep moving. How do you do this in the middle of a busy day? Begin with the smallest lever, attention, because where attention goes, action follows, and where action goes, karma is shaped. When the mind throws an old scene on the inner wall and calls it you, answer with a new act, even a tiny one. Clean a corner, answer a message with care, finish a half-done task, give a quiet kindness. Each small rightness is a match struck in a dark room, and many matches make light. Let me hand you a living image so this sinks deep. Hold a blackened pot over a small steady flame and watch what happens. The soot does not leap off at once. It lifts in slow curls. It smokes. It loosens. And if you keep the flame clean and you don't snatch the pot away in impatience, the metal begins to shine again. That pot is your heart and the flame is noble action without clinging, and the smoke is the old habit leaving. So if a day comes when the smoke is thick, do not say I'm worse. Say it's leaving and keep the flame. Now another image that saves hours of fear. The rope in dim light that looks like a snake. You jump, your breath spikes, you shout, but when the lamp is brought near, you see rope, not snake, and the fear falls, not because you argued well, but because you saw. Old guilt and old stories are like that snake. The mind projects, the body believes, and then one clear look ends the spell, so bring the lamp near. Sit steady, breathe even, name the truth you know, and the shape changes back to what it always was, just a rope on the ground. You might say, but I've hurt people. Then act like a healer. Apologize cleanly if you can. Repair what's in your reach. Serve quietly where you once took, and refuse to make a show of your change. The past wanted a crowd. Let your growth be private and strong. Here's a simple drill to put fire under this teaching today. Nothing grand, just honest and doable. Choose one small habit that drags you down. Late night scrolling, sharp speech when you're tired, skipping the first promise of the morning. Name it clearly, then choose one strong habit that answers it. Phone in another room after 10. 3 breaths before you speak. 5 minutes of seat before you touch a single task. Tie them together for 7 days, like 2 boards with one strap. Every time the old urge rises, you reach for the new act. Not in anger, not in self-hate, but like a farmer pulling a young plant toward the sun. Mark it once each day with a simple line on paper, because the mind respects what you record. And on the 7th night, sit for 1 minute and speak 3 things in a steady voice. I keep this gain. I fix this one gap. I release the rest and then sleep. That 1 week will show you a secret most people never learn. Old grooves are strong until they're not. And the change comes like the dawn, slow, then sudden. And everyone says, how did you do it? And you smile because you know. One act, done now, done again, done without clinging. If shame or fear tries to dress up as wisdom and tell you you're not allowed to be free yet, remember this and remember it well. The self in you is not stained, only the mirror was dusty. You don't polish the sun, you polish the glass, and we have been polishing with work, with wisdom, with love, with practice, and now with this fire that lifts old soot without burning the pot. Keep holy company, voices that lift you, pages that clear you, places that steady you, or be alone until you're strong, because company is a climate, and climates grow forests or weeds. And when the old storm rattles the windows, stand like the oak we spoke of, not stiff with pride, but alive with roots, and let the weather spend itself while you hold to your vow. Breathe with me now, slow in, slow out, and feel the edge of fear soften, feel the spine lengthen, feel the will return to your hands. We've cleared the fog, we've taken the wheel, we've tuned the strings, we've built the rhythm, and we've lit the fire that frees you from yesterday. You know what to do, and you can do it today. Now we seal it with a vow, simple and strong, so your next 7 days bend the path beneath your feet. Come with me into the closing, and let's make the promise that turns this teaching into fate you chose. You've walked with me from the first breath of this talk to the last, and now I gather the whole teaching into your hands so it becomes weight you can feel, not words you forget, because the truth is simple and strong and already alive in you. Karma is action with intent, and action is yours now. You create your fate by the choices you train yourself to make. You work without clinging, and the heart grows light. You think with a clean edge, and lies fall away. You love higher than moods, and the little I melts. You train the mind to sit, and power grows quiet and deep. You live a daily rhythm, morning page, 5 quiet minutes, 1 vow spoken out loud, nearest duty done like worship, no gossip, no blame, excellence first and fruit released, evening review that keeps 1 win, fixes 1 gap and lets the rest go. And when the past knocks with old stories, you answer with a new act in the present, and the old groove burns like soot in a steady flame. So here at the end, I ask you not to admire this. I ask you to do it. And we make it simple. We make it honest. We make it small enough to keep. For 7 days, starting now, speak this vow in your own voice each morning. Today I will do the work nearest to me with my whole heart, and I will not cling to the result. Then keep it once when it's easy. Keep it once when it's dull. Keep it once when it's hard, and at night sit for 1 minute and say, I keep this win, I fix this one thing, I release the rest, and sleep. If you fall, you rise. If you miss, you return. If you doubt, you act anyway because power answers action, not arguments. And on the seventh night, you will feel the ground under your feet change, quiet but sure, like a door you've pushed for years finally giving way. Now breathe with me once, slow and steady because the next step is strength, and you want it. And I will give it to you plain and fast. I will show you why strength is life and how to build it with one daily drill that takes a few minutes and changes the way you carry your day. A drill that stacks posture, breath, and a clear line in the mind, so fear loses its teeth and focus returns on command. And there is a turn in it you won't expect. A small move that multiplies the effect tenfold when you add it to the rhythm you've learned today. If the voice in you says later, don't let it lead you back to sleep. Come now, while the will is warm and the road is clear, because momentum is a friend you meet at the next door. Click the next video, Strength Over Fear, the daily drill, and step through with me, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, while your hands are still on the wheel and your heart is still bright, and we'll set your courage in your bones so the world can't shake it.